what looks like a game setup, almost like a chair with all the screens around it, and the gauges like you're actually in the car, and you're actually racing from the driver's point of view, but you're at home. But when you crash, it even looks real. What would happen in a crash? If you hit someone with the front of your car, you get it dented in the front. So someone hits you from behind, or you smack the wall, or run over something, you get a flat tire. It's pretty cool. For those of you who are into video games, you would love that NASCAR virtual reality game that all the drivers are doing now. But they're going to come back. NASCAR is coming back. Right now, they've been playing a lot of this documentary on ESPN called The Last Dance. And it is where the Chicago Bulls' last championship that they won, and it's the last season that they won the championship. They won 6 titles with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson as the coach, actually. But they are documenting, and it's a multi-part series. I've not watched the whole thing, but I've watched some of it. It looks pretty good, actually. You get to go behind the scenes and you see, what's going on with Michael and Scotty and Dennis Rodman and even Horace Grant on that first three-peat team that the Bulls had. And it's a little bit more candid. Jordan has always been kind of buttoned up and kept everything, personal, out of the media as much as he could to secure his image. He was worried about his image most of the time. But this documentary, they've got Jordan being honest and giving his true feelings about different things and stuff that had happened while the Bulls dynasty team were together. And they talk about the dream team a little bit too. With all the NBA superstars that was on that team. The Last Dance. That's what this documentary is called on ESPN. The only show that I've actually seen, maybe SportsCenter, they still have live anchors on, but the only show that I've seen consistently still on with someone actually in the studio. I've seen some sports centers where they actually got those guys are in the studio, not doing it from home. Like most shows, most talk shows that are on, people are doing them from home. But Scott Van Pelt, he's been in the studio on ESPN doing his show. Forget what it's called, but something with SVP. It's his show comes on late. Comes on like 11 at night. Even on Sunday. So, Weekend Warrior, Van Pelt, still comes in the studio. So, I don't know. I've not heard him give an explanation of why he's still coming to work, if he's been tested and that's what they could do, really. For movies, I think, my opinion is that for movies, you can still make your movie. Anybody who was planning to make a movie before the pandemic hit us, you should still make your movie. You should just have everybody tested and just get everybody who is negative to work on the movie. That way you don't have to wear a mask or, worry about it. Just only hire people who are negative for Corona. And you'll be fine with the movie. There's an idea. Pass it on. All right. We are going to take a break for station identification. Don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
And now, without further ado, the man we've all been waiting for, T-Jam D. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. I'm the man you've all been waiting for. And I have some sad news for you sports fans. Some of you will know who I'm talking about. If you're a sports fan, you'll probably know who I'm talking about or what I'm talking about. But today, Don Shula, legendary football coach for the Miami Dolphins, passed away. So, Don Shula was a Super Bowl winning coach, was the only coach in the history of the NFL to ever have a team go undefeated. Now, undefeated for the entire season, playoffs, won the Super Bowl, everything. The Patriots went undefeated during the regular season and lost the Super Bowl to the Giants here just in recent years. But the Miami Dolphins were coached by Don Shula for a long time, and he was a brilliant coach, a good, respected man, and he will be missed. Let's have a moment of silence for Don Shula. All right. So a little bit of sad news there, but we move on. We press on. I don't know what Don Shula died from. They didn't say. I mean, he was old. He was an old guy. I think it was like 90 or something. So I don't think you have to have any health failures when you're that age. You could just die from stubbing your toe or something. You know what I'm saying? When you're 90, you can, just get stung by a bee or something. I don't know. You don't have to have any serious, problems, but just getting old, man. So, Don Shula, gone at 90, reportedly. I still am not 100% sure that the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, is dead. I think he is. I don't know why North Korea is trying to keep it a big secret. If the man is dead, he's dead. I don't know how it affects their, economy or whatever. If Kim Jong-un is dead, but they're not being forthcoming with the news that it's been reported that he died, but we're not 100% sure yet. So stay tuned, and one of these, broadcasts will tell you for sure if Kim Jong-un is still alive or not. Sooner or later we'll know for sure. Maybe they're propping his body up like Weekend at Bernie's, and they're just going to pretend like he's still alive, put the sunglasses on him and tote him around. But those some of these nations with the dictators, it's pretty weird lifestyle. I have to imagine, I can't imagine living under a regime like that where you're constantly in fear. Where this guy murdered his own uncle, what I mean? Like, you could tell a joke that this guy doesn't like and he'll have you killed by firing squad. Not even joking. I mean, it's like he really will have you killed by firing squad, like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. They used to, the cartoon Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner, Sylvester and Tweety. Those were some of the most violent cartoons I've ever seen, man. They would blow each other up. They would blow each other up with bombs and hit each other with anvils. That was their favorite thing of all. To hit each other with an anvil, drop an anvil on the head of the other character. Nobody hardly ever said anything. They would shoot each other, with big guns, bazookas, everything. Anything. They just pull it out from behind their back. Just huge hammers and knock each other in the head with them. They pull it from behind their back. I mean, these is little characters. And they just pull something that's bigger than them from behind their back and just try to injure somebody else with it, which, looking back on that, that's pretty funny. But nowadays, people complain about the violence in video games. I'm like, man, look at Wile E. Coyote, super genius. He is trying to kill this one bird. This one bird out there running around in the desert, and he's trying to kill it. One bird, the same one. I know it was the desert, but wouldn't it be more than one bird running down the road? I've seen road runners before, you know what I'm saying? They're not that fast. But anyway, I don't quite know what led me to that conversation, but there's a tidbit for you. I want to move a little bit to the entertainment business, even though there ain't much going on in entertainment. I gave them some ideas. I've given people ideas, but they haven't followed it. They haven't followed up on it yet, but maybe they don't need to. Sooner or later, they won't need to follow up. They'll just, go back to doing things the way they were doing it. But I said, just for the corona, just for this time being, while we're in the middle of this pandemic, and you want to still produce movies or a TV show, what you need to do is just make sure everybody in the cast and working on the crew has been tested for coronavirus and that they test negative. Hire everybody who tests negative and then go ahead and make the movie without, you don't have to wear a mask or, you still got to be sanitizing your hands and everything every day when you come to the set. But, you just get one test before the movie production starts and then run with it. If it's negative, go with it. If it's positive, say, hey, we got to hire somebody else, man. We need a negative person. Well, that's my idea, because all the production of all the shows and movies have halted. It's stopped. And if they haven't, that's the good thing about